And that should be the last time we see this intro. Hello everyone, it's Fable, and that's probably the only thing that isn't changing. 2 weeks ago, I made a poll on my community page. When 2019 ended and 2020 started, the name Grim Fables became solely my own. And I've released music under the name now, and I've made it my handle on social media, everywhere except here really. So I asked, do I rebrand to something fresh that I like more with Grim Fables, or are you more familiar with the Fabled Ways name? And the poll was not decisive and not as helpful as I hoped it would be, because it had a 51% majority in the Grim Fables fashion. It's not a landslide majority victory, it's still kind of a split. So I ran the decision by a few people that I trust and decided that henceforth the channel will be known as Grim Fables. And thusly, you can continue calling me Fable, Roy, or now Grim, for Grim Fables, you know? Musically, I'm still known as Fabled Ways. It's an alias that I use for composing and producing things that are not immediately intended for like mainstream commercial electronic music, and I'd like to keep it for that. Grim Fables is sort of my major project alias that mostly will have label backing in some capacity. Everything else will kind of go under Fabled Ways. So if you see future music go up like remixes, don't be shocked if it's still credited as that. Yeah, that's pretty much the major stuff out of the way. Actually, let's talk about a little bit of a trivia. Why not? I find it fun to talk about. So the intro, the laugh in the intro, right? It's actually Darkside Phil's laughter that's distorted, bit crushed, and tape stopped. I wanted something incredibly cursed for the intro, and I ended up deciding that Darkside Phil's laughter, the hyena dolphin laughter that he has, would probably be the best one for it. There was only 2 people that knew, and that's kind of what made it fun. People used to think that it was me laughing. It's not. It's Darkside Phil. And now also I want to clarify a couple of things with the raccoon. What is the Raccoon Story? Originally, I was going to have that as a channel mascot, a villainous raccoon called Wretch. Emotes and everything was going to be centered around that. I don't know, I thought the idea of a raccoon trying to be evil would be hilarious, with like the tea glasses or goggles and stuff. But it somehow gets turned into a joke in a couple of friend groups that I'm in, that I'm a furry instead. And I'm not. I'm still trying to convince people of that. The raccoon was really just trying to be something cooler than it was, and it just kind of fell flat. It just ended up being an avatar in most places that I didn't have much of a logo for. So that's really it. In the ways of trivia, that's pretty much what I have. Fabled Ways, ironically, was a name that I came up with before I chose the Grim Fables name. At the time, I was deciding on a couple of like project names, and Grim Fables was also one of them that eventually was decided upon. But Fabled Ways was something that I already had ahead of time for my own channel. So it's just pure coincidence that everything that I do is now apparently called Fable in some capacity. I'm very sorry, okay? It's not a huge change, it's just that a couple of words are changing, okay? Anyway, I suppose we're good to go now. I'm going to try to make the transition for the channel name very smooth. Quickly before we end, I am going to tell you that I now am going to start streaming on Twitch as soon as I am able to. I'm going to be especially trying the Feast season this season in Final Fantasy XIV. So if you want to catch me with a little bit of PvP or just, you know, hang out and chat, you can do that. There will be a link down below, but it'll be twitch.tv/grimfables_. There's that underscore that needs to be there because somebody already took the Grim Fables name. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There is a new intro, and we're going to roll it as the outro for this one. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.